Hello everybody, it is Friday the 2nd of August. I'm going a bit far out today, but things are starting to fall into place, and it is actually, in one way it's really scary, and in the other way it's rather exciting what's happening. So I don't know, I'm going to share my excitement. Yeah, you can get scared about it afterwards. You should. Anyway, in one way, I want to talk about the doubting Thomas and what actually happened in that story, and what Thomas actually doubted. It was not the resurrection. He actually pointed his finger exactly to the point of what he did doubt. And that should actually give you, what happened there should give you pause for thought. It really should. So I want to show you this. But the other thing is, and there is something that, again, Paul Wallace is touting at the moment, and I think he is terribly wrong. And that is, did Jesus, or is Jesus following Yahweh? Or is he a son of Yahweh? And Paul Wallace says no, that there was a change. Yeah, that he is not a follower of Yahweh. He absolutely is. He said so. He said, I did not come to do away with the law, but to strengthen the law. Strength and the law, that's Yahweh. If Yahweh were to truly identify himself, that is to name himself, which obviously Moses asked the name, who are you? What shall I say your name is? And Yahweh said, I am that I am. And I create that I create. Which is basically saying nothing. He's not revealing his name. But I think if Yahweh were to define himself a name, then that name would be, I am the law. I am strength. And I am the law. So then when Jesus says, I came to strengthen the law, yeah, he absolutely is in service to Yahweh. Absolutely. But there was a change, and I want to show you this. It is really far out. Anyway, okay, let's just start with Jesus himself, yeah? And the resurrection and what it was Thomas actually doubted. Because that is important. I say this, the state of solid is a state of knowing. Solid knowing, solid reality. You are creating a solid reality by the Spirit. The Spirit creates the solid, or changes the solid. Yeah? Has impact on the solid and can change it. That is what this entire book is about. Manifestation. Make no mistake. So, Jesus became or worked on his own spirit, on his own energies. Yeah? And he became a changed being. Well, he was still human to a point. But he changed his being, and then when he came out of the tomb, the fact that his appearance had changed, he looked different, they did not recognize him in the first instant, makes perfect sense if you actually believe. If you actually believe that the Spirit will create, is the creative force. Cat. If you actually believe that, then it makes perfect sense that he did look different. If he was a different energy, it would have created a different picture, a different solid reality. Yeah? And then there's something else happening when he comes out of the tomb, when they first see him. Yeah? I think I've got the page here. This is actually, in a way, this is sci-fi at its best. And it is to me, it's a complete Doctor Who moment. What's happening there? We are telling the same stories all over again. We are. Doctor Who is actually the story of the Time Lords. okay, to those who are not British and maybe not familiar with the Time Lords, they were supposed to be a race of people, yeah, that lived outside of time and space, or they could travel in time and space, yeah. And when a Time Lord dies, yeah, he actually does turn into a complete being of energy. You know, you see that the light everywhere, the body disintegrates, they go into pure light, and then it creates a new form. Yeah, and they look different afterwards. But in essence, they do not change. There's another thing. In essence, the Time Lord does not change. He's still what he was. And in the story, the Time Lords are being, as young Time Lords are being taken to the void, to look at the void of time and space, to know who they are. And once they know, it never changes. So, and then they name themselves. So the one in the story, the Doctor, named himself the Doctor. In the story that the world of the Time Lords is destroyed, Gallifrey is destroyed, and only two Time Lords survive. The Doctor, and the other one is the Master. Again, he looked into the void, and he knew himself, and he named himself the Master. And that, the essence of the Time Lord does not change once they knew who they are. Yeah? But the real, the thing is that in the last, when David Tennant became the Doctor Who, and he first emerged, you know, out of the light, out of the transformation, and he said, you know, don't touch me. My body is not yet fully formed. Yeah, it takes a little while for it to become completely solid. And I said, that is exactly what's happening in the Bible with Jesus. That is exactly what he's saying is happening when he emerges out of the tomb. This is weird. Hold on. Oh no, where was my bookmark? Oh here, sorry. Yeah. So where are we? We're on John. John 20 verse 17. And Jesus says to Mary, who came to the tomb, yeah? Jesus said unto her, touch me not, for I am not yet ascended to my Father, but go to my brethren and say unto them, I ascended unto my Father and your Father, and to my God and to your God. Complete Doctor Who moment there. My body is not yet fully formed. But later on, when he goes to meet them, he encourages them to touch him. Yeah? He say, touch me. See, I'm solid. Poke me. Now, what did Thomas have a problem with? Yeah? He did not believe on the resurrection. Oh, I think he did. That was the whole point. That was the whole point. Jesus went to the cross in the sure and certain hope of the resurrection. He knew. Why was he resurrected? Because he knew that would happen. And the Creator gives. Know that you have received it and it will be yours. That, again, was a prayer. That was a knowing. That's how it happened. He knew. He believed. He believed to the point where it was a reality to him. And it was then a reality. It was his. Now, what did Thomas have problem with? Yeah? Not the resurrection itself. That is what they all have been working on all along. But Thomas says, here, and Thomas, that's verse 24 now. But Thomas, as one of the 12, called Didymus, was not with them when Jesus came. The other disciples therefore said unto him, we have seen the Lord. But he said unto them, except I shall see his hands the prints of the nails, and put my finger into the prints of the nails, and thrust my hand into his side, I will not believe. That is what Thomas had a problem with. And that is what I have a problem with, and that is what you should have a problem with. And that is that he was changed. He had created himself into a new reality, but the wounds of the cross had not healed. Yeah? And if they were on the trip of creating the perfect being, then that was not it. That is what Thomas had a problem with. And he pointed at the problem. It was the wounds, not the resurrection itself. It was the wounds that he had a problem with. And as I said, that's something you should have a problem with. Why are they still there? What happened? Right. So, and he's going to his father's place. Yeah? Again, the ascension is far out. There is a body, an entire body being sucked out of this reality. That's what happens. Yeah? There's no dead Jesus. He did not turn into a beautiful being of light and got out of the body. He did not. He absolutely did not. He went into the tomb. He went into a state of chrysalis, of complete disintegration. He was reformed into a solid body. Did not get out. And that was never the point. The point is creating a solid reality. That is the point. Bringing the kingdom of his Father to earth is creating a solid reality. Yeah? We're not going to be beautiful beings of I don't know what. Forget it. Right. Okay, let's get to Paul Wallace and whether, as I said, is it Yahweh? I say absolutely it is. Let's talk about, just quickly, Elohim. They are beings. This is all playing within creation. They are different beings. There were different Elohim that had different parts. There was the Elohim of Egypt, there was the Elohim of here and Elohim of there. They followed Yahweh, which is one of them. Yeah? And although Elohim are one, they are one in the desire to rule over the lower nature, to consciousness, not lower levels of consciousness, to rule over the animals, yeah, to subdue their nature, yeah, don't let them evolve. Everything does evolve, but they will keep it down, subdue their nature, and have dominion over this world, and in that they are all the same. Yeah, and then, choose your God, it will always take you to the same outcome. It doesn't matter which one you choose. Some are a bit more harsh than others. Yahweh probably one of the harshest. But it will always take you to the same outcome. It doesn't matter. And I said, that is who Yahweh is. He is strength and he is the law. He is my will shall be done. And, maybe I will quickly read this. That is Joshua again when he said, hold on, where are we? So we're in the Old Testament. So when Joshua gathers the tribes and say if they want to serve Yahweh, yeah? And he says, the gods before, the gods of Egypt. I took you out from the gods of Egypt, from the bondage of the gods of Egypt, and from the gods before the flood that your people worshipped, your ancestors worshipped the ones before the flood. Again, different Elohim. but I will follow this one. Me and my house, we will follow Yahweh. Yeah, that's what he says. Don't follow the Elohim of Egypt, don't follow the Elohim of before the flood, but we will follow Yahweh, this one. And he shall be our Lord. And there's a part here which is actually priceless. If you actually read this with your eyes open, yeah, and stop being in this trance of the doctrine, yeah, snap out of it, open your eyes and see the truth, see what it actually says. So Joshua 24, so he says, I took you out of Egypt from the Elohim of Egypt. We are now with Yahweh. And he says to them in verse 19, and Joshua says unto the people, because the people say, just before that, if he says, me and my house, we will make the choice, we will follow, we will serve this Lord. We will serve this Elohim. And the people answered and said, oh, no, right. And you have a choice. If you don't want to serve him, you can go right now. And the people answered and said, God forbid that we should forsake the Lord to serve other gods. God forbid. Yeah? Actually, he does. For the Lord our God, he is that brought us up and our fathers out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage, from the house where we were in bondage, which did those great signs in our sight, and preserved us in all the ways wherein we went, and amongst all the people through whom we passed. Yeah, through whom we passed. That's actually a good way of putting that. You plowed right through them. Anyway, so then at verse 18, and the Lord drave out from before us all the people, even the Amorites and so on. Anyway, 19. Let's go to 19. And Joshua said unto the people, you cannot serve the Lord, for he is a holy God. He is a jealous God. He will not forgive your transgressions of your sins. He will not forgive. If ye forsake the Lord and serve strange gods, then he will turn and do you hurt and consume you after that he has done you good. Yeah? So, if you set a foot wrong and do not do his will, yeah, he's doing you lots of good. It's brilliant. He gives you everything. But if you set a foot wrong, he will consume you. He is the law. Yeah? He will consume you. And folks, isn't it great to be out of bondage? Isn't that wonderful to be saved from the Elohim of Egypt and now be out of bondage? And if you set a foot wrong and you don't obey the law, he will consume you. There's freedom for you. Anyway, really, read it with your eyes open. It's nuts. Yeah, you're not out of bondage. You're going from one bondage into the next. And he only does you good if you're doing as you're told. That's bondage. Anyway. So. Okay, let's say. Paul Wallace. Yeah, again. That is Yahweh. And also the Elohim in that time. In the time of Moses. Yeah, there is, I said it before and I agree with them, with Paul Wallace, with Sitchin, with von Däniken, that is technology. They were on the level of technology, and obviously superior technology to where we're riding around on donkeys. They were flying in ships in the air. There's a bit of a difference. And that, as I said, they were the rulers because of the superior technology. Yeah? They are solid beings with technology that ruled over us. I agree with that. And then he says that in the New Testament, he says when Jesus ascended, well, if the body goes out of here, where does it go? And again, implying that there was a spaceship there. Or that, let's not go to the beginning, but that there was a spaceship there. Basically, he was being done. Beam me up, Scotty. And I don't think so. And it is still Yahweh on a higher level. I think what we're looking at in the New Testament is the evolution of Yahweh. Whereas in the Old Testament, they themselves, the gods, are on the Newtonian physics level, which is where we are now. And building stuff outside of themselves according to that, as we do. What happened with Jesus was energetic. It was, as said, the changing of energy that will change solid reality. And then to my mind, what happened is this world, as David Icke says, we are narrow bounds of energy. Worlds are narrow bounds of energy. There's some leeway inside of the band, inside of the world, of what you can energetically be and still be in this world. Yeah? Jesus turned himself into something that was energetically no longer compatible with this world. And he was kicked out into another reality, folks, into another solid reality. And this is no longer solid Newtonian physics. This is quantum. This is spiritual knowledge. This is something worked on the quantum level. And there is what Yahweh has evolved into a higher knowledge. And again, he himself has not changed. It's what I said before, just because a being has got spiritual knowledge or greater knowledge of what reality actually is, does not make it a good being. If they are, in essence, I am that I am, my essence doesn't change, but I just gather knowledge that will serve me. Again, then the outcome will be the same on a higher level, on a quantum level. And look at the book of the Revelation, death and destruction and stuff like that. Now, last thing, people go around, saying that I am the Christ Spirit, I'm the follower of Jesus, I am a higher being of light or whatever, but this has got nothing to do with solid reality. This is just a book of allegories and metaphors. It does not speak about reality. No, it absolutely does. And if you say, I believe on the power of the Spirit, well, there it is. It creates realities. And if you say it's just spiritual, nothing to do with solid reality, then you're proclaiming the Spirit and you're denying the power thereof. That's what you're doing. And say this is real. To me, I'm saying this thing because I actually believe. I actually believe on what Jesus taught. Absolutely I do. I believe it is possible. But then that should actually give you, where are you going in the Spirit? In your thoughts, in your desires, in your feelings. Where are you going? And here comes when they say, oh, we will be changed in the twinkle of an eye, and then we shall be with the Lord forever. Hello? Yeah, you're going the way of Jesus. You will go into another reality. Have you any idea where you're going? Have you any idea what it is you're doing? Because you are praying. You are working on your own energies. And to say it will happen in a twinkle of an eye, it will seem like that. It's actually not. Because in the chrysalis state, in the state of complete disintegration, which will happen, at that moment you will probably turn into a light being, yeah, complete energy. And apparently, according to that book, it takes about 3 days. But in those three days, you will not know. Those are the days of darkness. Those are the days where you know nothing. So you know, just before disintegration, you know the moment you come out of disintegration, and then it will seem like the twinkle of an eye, but it's not. According to this book, again, if that is reality, then there's 3 days where you are complete mush and you know nothing. And then you will wake up in another reality. And that one will be solid, make no mistake. It will be solid. And you will have become. And you will be in a new world. I mean, this is far out. This is sci-fi, quantum sci-fi at its best. Do you believe it's real? Go around believing on Jesus, then do you believe this is real? Because he's telling you this is real. They are telling you this is real. Do you believe? And then really think about what it is you're doing. Because you don't know what it is you're doing. You're saying, I'm following Jesus. I'm praying for this moment of disintegration. For the twinkle of an eye. For the rapture. That is a rapture. I'm praying for the rapture. Do you know what it is you're doing? Do you believe this is real? Do you believe him? Do you believe Jesus when he tells you this is real? Because I do. I absolutely do believe him. And then do you know what it is you're doing? I say, sci-fi at its best. And did Jesus follow Yahweh? Yes, absolutely he did. Yahweh had involved. Yahweh has evolved. Yahweh has gained knowledge. And then the best thing is, who gave him that knowledge? We did. We are mining the gold for the gods, and we are giving it to them. They evolve, and then they take us into a completely new level of slavery. Wake up. And believe. Yes, I think you should believe. I believe it's real. Anyway, here, I leave it at that for today. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.